Hello YouTube, Robert here from Team Pop the Back Row, and today Patrick is going to show us his Ghostrick build. So go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, to start things off, I used triple Ghostrick Yangshi, which is the searcher of this deck. When flipped face up, you can add a Ghostrick from your deck to your hand with a level equal or lower of the amount of Ghostricks on the field. Since this is a pure build, it evolves a lot around changing battle positions, and you can basically use this card to flip it in your own turn and in your opponent's turn, which nets you double searches basically. Then we have another searcher, the Ghostrick Stein, which is also quite a beater in this deck with 1600 attack. When this card does battle damage, you get to add a Ghostrick spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Most of the time you search the field spell or one of your supporting trap cards. The field spell basically keeps you alive, and the trap card basically makes this deck the stall deck that it is. Also, it is the level 3, together with Yangshi. You can make rank 3s in this deck, and rank 3s are among the most powerful ones, including Ghostrick Alucard, and I guess most people know what that card does. Now, for the level 2s, I play 2 Ghostrick Dolls. When Ghostrick Doll gets flipped face up, in the end phase of the turn that she is flipped face up, all the monsters on the field are flipped into face down defense position, and you get to summon a Ghostrick from your deck equal to the amount of monsters that is flipped face down. She doesn't have to remain face up on the field for this effect to resolve, so basically you can just flip it, overlay with it, or flip it in the opponent's turn. It can really disrupt a lot of their plays, and because it is a level 2, if you don't have your whole search engine set up with Yangshis and you only have 2 Ghostricks on the field, this is a very good card to add and set. Ghostrick Witch, basically she flips one opponent's monster face down per turn. It can be quite handy to flip down face boss monsters, so you can attack directly with your field spell card, or you can really disrupt their plays and keep all the monsters in face down defense position. For a soft lock with Ghostrick Nekosime, every time the opponent normal or special summons a monster, it is immediately flipped in face down defense position. You can basically use this for a lock if you have this face up together with Ghostrick Knight. Everything level 4 or lower gets flipped into face down defense position, and they cannot flip it face up due to this card. Now for the level 1s, we have 3 Ghostrick Marys. If you have a field spell face up and all your monsters are in face down defense position, basically the opponent can attack you directly for half the damage. When that happens, you can discard this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a Ghostrick from your deck to the field. Most of the time that will be a Yangshi, so again you can flip it face up in the battle step to add another card from your deck to your hand, or you will special summon the Ghostrick Doll, and if you manage to flip that face up, you can flip all the monsters face down again and special summon another one from your deck. So this is a real good combo starter. Also, if you do not open up with Yangshi, you can basically just set nothing, let your opponent direct attack you, ditch this one, get Yangshi, and get all your plays going. Next is Ghostrick Lantern, which is, in my opinion, the best of the Ghostrick hand traps. In a mid to late game, you have a lot of Exceed monsters on the field, and this guy can protect it. So most of your Exceed monsters are face up, so the field spell doesn't provide any protection from them. You can discard this card, and it will special summon a face down defense position, and you negate an attack on a face up Ghostrick monster. So your Alucard, Dullahan, and So Cute Boss can stay in play for a little bit longer. Also, it's a level 1 and it will special summon itself face down, so in your turn, if you have another level 1, you can make a rank 1. Or it adds up to the Yangshi searches. The more of these and other cards you have face down, the higher cards you can search with Yangshi. Now for a card that gets stacked a lot in other decks, it's Ghostrick Jack Frost. Basically, when you get attacked, you can special summon this card in face down defense position and flip your opponent's monster face down. It doesn't target, So it works really well against Bujin Yamato, for example, or other high boss monsters that will do a lot of damage on you. That's the monster count. I play a pure build, so I don't use Dark Creator or Spirits or other cards. For the spells, I have triple Swords of Concealing Light. Basically, this allows you to flip monsters face down from the opponent, so you can attack directly when you have a field up, or you can disrupt their plays. I use triple Ghostrick Mansion, which is in my opinion the best field spell. When all monsters you or your opponent controls are face down, you can attack directly, or your opponent can attack you directly. You do full damage to them with Ghostrick monsters, they will only do half damage to you. So this becomes a lot of a stalling game, which is something the Ghostrick prefers. And because the pure build is really reliant on having a field spell, because you need to protect your face down monsters, I play a 4th field. It's Ghostrick Parade. Basically you won't do any damage on the opponent, but every time the opponent does damage to you, you get to add a Ghostrick from your deck to your hand. So your opponent really has to keep in mind that they can do damage to you, but you will keep fielding your hand, and you can even add Ghostrick Mansion, for example. So if they attack you and you want a better field spell, you can just add this one and play it in your turn. For spells I play 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, pretty self-explanatory. I used to play 3, but Fire Fist isn't that good anymore, and people are switching to Breakthrough Skill instead of Fiendish Chain, so I opt to only play 2 in my main deck. 1 Book of Moon, because flipping monsters face down, like from the opponent or yours, is pretty good. You can even use it on your own Yangshi to get an extra search, so that's pretty good. Allure of Darkness, which is a card I hate and love at the same time, because you don't always want to use it, but if you have a bad hand, you can use this to kind of repair your hand. Like if you don't open up with a Mary or a Yangshi, most of the time that's considered a bad hand, so you can allure and hope you draw either one of those. Otherwise you consider it as a bluff or late game. For the trap cards, triple Ghostrick Scare, which is a disruptive card. Basically, you can flip any monsters you control face up, and an equal amount of monsters on the opponent's side face down. So you can disrupt their Exceed plays, the Synchro plays, and also trigger your Yangshis again, so you get more searches off. Double Ghostrick Go Round, which is a really good card, and people tend to leave it on the field until they really know how good it is. Basically it allows you to flip a monster on your side face up, and if it's a Ghostrick monster you can flip one on the opponent's side face down, or you can flip one monster on your side face down and one on the opponent's side face up. That's an effect I don't often use, but flipping monsters on your side face up and the opponent's side face down is pretty good. You can flip a doll, for example, so in end phase everything gets flipped again and you get to search something from your deck, or a Yangshi, so you get to search another card. And it's also a continuous trap card, so the longer it stays on the field, the more the goodies you get from it. Next up, 2 Ghostrick Vanish. Ghostrick Vanish is Forbidden Dress for the entire deck basically. It protects Ghostrick cards and face down cards. So when they try to MST your field, or for example Torrential Tribute on your turn or whatever, you can flip this and everything just stays on the field. For example, today someone tried to Dark Hole me. I flipped this Ghostrick Vanish, revealed a Ghostrick in my hand, and all his cards got destroyed and all mine stayed on the field. Now for the card that makes a soft lock, it's Ghostrick Knight. What Ghostrick Knight does is, as long as you have a Ghostrick face up on the field, your opponent can flip summon monsters. So if you have, for example, this one on the field, every level 4 or lower monster gets flipped face down, and I can't flip it face up anymore. Same goes for Swords of Concealing Light, for example. That's why I still like it and play it. you flip all this stuff face down, wait 2 turns, and then flip this in the draw phase, and I still can't do anything. It's really good for disrupting plays. And for my last 2 traps, I played 2 Mirror Force. You have a lot of trouble with trying to clear out already established fields, because you can stall a lot and attack directly, but you won't remove the threat. So, when the opponent tries to overextend and go for your life points, that's most of the time I try to use Mirror Force. I really want to hold on this card as long as possible. Do not try to get a 1-for-1 from it unless it really saves you the game. Try and get as many monsters from your opponent as possible, so he has to start establishing a field again, which will take him quite a long time due to all your stalling and disruptive tactics. That's the main deck, that's 40 cards. And now for the extra deck, I play triple Ghostrick Alucard. Ghostrick Alucard can detach 1 material to destroy any face down card on the field. Also, when this card gets sent to the graveyard, you can add a Ghostrick from your graveyard back to your hand. Most of the time that will be a Mary, Yangtze or a Stein, so you can start setting up your plays again. Most of the time I don't make 3, max 2 in a match, but it's a really good card and it's one of the staple cards in Ghostricks. Fortune Tune, which is alright for stalling, I guess. You don't really make a lot of exceeds in this deck except for the Ghostrick ones, but for stalling measures this is quite an alright card. Allows you to gain some life points, and you can just use the materials and put it back into the deck, which is alright. Levier, which is pretty good if you have Allure of Darkness in your hand. For example, you can allure a Ghostrick Stein and get it back with Levier, and then attack it directly with Ghostrick Stein to search your spell or trap card again. You don't really make this that often because your deck doesn't banish a lot. Wind Up Zen Mains, again for stalling, but also for his ability to destroy cards. If a card that is already face up on the field and you can't get it face down, Ghostrick Alucard can't do anything against it. You can always just ram it with Wind Up Zen Mains and destroy it in the end phase. Tempo, which is really good against the annoying exceed monsters that tend to be in the game these days. 2 Ghostricks So Cute Bots. What she does is you can detach 1 material to destroy a face-up card on the face-up monster card on the opponent's side of the field with attack equal or less than the combined Ghostrick attack on your side of the field. And after that they cannot use the monster card zone for the remainder of the game, which is really good for getting rid of problem cards. And also the fact that the opponent cannot use the monster card zone for the remainder of the game is really good, because they tend to keep monsters face down, and which really limits their amount of plays that they can do. 1 Herald of Pure Light. Detach a material to get a card from your graveyard back into the hand. Can be really handy. You do not make it that often. Most of the time you will go to So Cute Boss, but it can give you a nice plus. Number 65, Gin Buster, which is basically like a miniature Photon Strike Bouncer. You make it with 2 level 2 dark monsters. You do not have a lot of effect negation in the deck, but you do flip down a lot of threats before they actually happen. But if there's a threat on the field, or if you want to make your field a little bit better, that might be a good choice to summon. Now for the rank 1s, 2 Ghostrick Doulahan. Ghostrick Doulahan is a really good card and I make it quite often. This together with an Alucard is a really nice combo, because you can detach 1 material and it halves the attack of 1 monster on the field, which you can also use in the damage step, so your Alucard can survive a whole lot longer with this guy next on the field. And a lot of times you will have a lot of level 1s on the field and they won't do anything except for when you use their effect. so you can just overlay him for a Dullahan. One Slacker Magician for additional stalling, and one Downward Magician. If you used up your materials on Alucard or Dullahan, for example, you can overlay it for a Downward Magician. Now for the side deck, triple Max C. A lot of decks special summon, so Max C is quite self-explanatory. 2 DD Crow. Our locals is quite diverse. Like, it works against Bujins, zombies, plants, a lot of rogue decks. I still think it's a good choice to go in a tournament where either the meta is really diverse, or if the meta is not really defined yet. Dimensional Fissure for Mermills mostly, Sylvans. The Last Mystical Space Typhoon. 2 Wiretap, which is really good against the Artifact Trap or trap heavy decks in general. 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror, because Bujins, Constellars, you name it. Our deck is entirely dark, so it doesn't hamper us. 2 Needle Sealing. I opted to side these instead of maining him. I've tested them in the main deck as well. It's a really good card, but in mid to late game you tend to have a lot of Exceed cards face up on the field. I find this card better in your opening play than mid to late game. Also, when you draw this and the field is already established, it can be good, but a lot of fields these days are quite unkillable, so that's why I prefer Mirror Force to discard, but against decks that swarm a lot, this is a really good side. 1 Macrocosmos, again same story as D-Fissure, and 1 Soul Drain. Well, that was my pure Ghostrick deck profile. I'm currently testing the creator one as well. I think it has a lot more plays than the current one, but I like the art of this deck a lot, so that's why I will keep on playing it. Thanks YouTube, and until next time.